So how do you know if you've got a leaky gut? Well, you can test for it. A couple of tests. I used to order a lot of these tests, intestinal permeability tests. You give the lab sends out a little kit, and they drink a solution of 2 sugars, lactulose and mannitol. The mannitol, and they collect their urine for 6 hours, and the mannitol shows up in the urine. Lactulose is not supposed to show up in the urine, and if you have a bunch of lactulose in your urine, by definition, you have a leaky gut. Here's what the result that you get from the lab. You shouldn't have any more than 1.5% of lactulose show up. This person had 3%, so they have a leaky gut. Used to order a lot of these. This seems to be replaced by a newer blood test now. All you really need is called zonulin. Zonulin is a protein that your own body makes that loosens up the tight junction. There are times the body wants to loosen these up, but if you got leaky gut, you got lots of zonulin in your tissues, and they're correlating now. The more zonulin you have in your bloodstream, the more leakier your gut probably is. So I'm probably going to start ordering zonulin tests instead of the urine tests here. But I don't think I'm going to be ordering many of these either. I've been a doc 45 years, and I've been doing nutritional medicine for 35 of them. And I used to order these tests. I don't anymore because I realized the patients, the lab tests. If they're coming in, they're eating a standard diet, they got swollen, inflamed joints, they got loose stools, they got leaky gut. The patient's telling you they got that. And just to spend their money to document it. Yep, your test showed you had leaky gut. Well, I knew that when I walked in the office. And so I'm not ordering many of these. And if you're in the throes of some rip-roaring lupus attack or whatever, assume you got a leaky gut, you ought to get on the repair program that I'm going to outline in a minute. So, the food we eat determines the bacteria that live in our guts. When you eat a diet based on whole plant foods, like our anatomy would dictate here, good things happen. Some of the bad guys start fading away. And it's been clearly shown a plant-based diet significantly alters the bacteria live in our gut and results in significant shift in microbiomes. It alters the intestinal microbes in humans because high amounts of fiber result in increased short-chain fatty acid production, which lowers the pH, and this keeps the bad guys from going down there. So there's a bunch of mechanisms by which whole plant foods help your microbiome. Even there are things in apples will help. Maybe that's why an apple a day keeps me away from my patients, I guess. I want to see any of these people. I want to be so healthy, them to be so healthy they don't need to come and see me. I want to go for a bike ride instead. We're going to be talking about probiotics, yada, yada, all this stuff. But baseline, foundation, block to stand on, it's the food. Okay, it's the food. If you're eating cheeseburgers and pepperoni pizzas, you can take all the probiotics by the bottle. Ain't going to help you, okay? Feed the good guys down in your gut there, and the gut will repair itself. You're growing a new gut lining constantly. You just want it to come in nice and stable and tight and normal, and putting this kind of fuel down there does that. So we're going to talk about some probiotics and supplements, all this stuff, but the foundation is healthy whole plant foods. These kind of foods are rich in what's called prebiotics. They're the food for the good guys. And fructose oligosaccharides and inulin, don't worry about the names there. But trust me, there's good things in these foods that foster the good guys' growth. Okay. So, if you got a leaky gut, or you think you do, how do you repair it? I'm going to run through the protocol, but so your fingers don't get numb and you miss half of what I'm saying. Everything I'm going to tell you now, I've already put on a webinar that's on my website. If you go to drklaper.com, check out my Healthy webinars. There's a webinar called Leaky Gut. Is it real and what to do about it? So afterwards, or if you want to know more about this, go to my website and watch that webinar, and it'll recap everything I'm going to tell you now. Okay, that said, remember, before we get into this, this is not a permanent condition. This is, I've got leaky gut, rest of my life, my gut's leaky, everything I eat is going to flow out onto the floor. Don't put this label on, don't scare yourself with this. Just like your skin is constantly growing, and new skin, as we're sitting here, new skin is being made in the deep layers of your skin and working its way up to the surface. Same thing's happening in your gut, and your gut doesn't want to stay leaky. It'll repair itself if you give it a break. So take your anxiety meter and turn it down to 0 here, and but there are things that we can do to help this repair process happen, but the gut's repairing itself anyway. Okay, first, stop injuring it. Okay. If you hit yourself in the thumb with a hammer, I'm inflamed, got to take some ibuprofen. And hit yourself in the hammer again, hit your thumb in the hammer again. If you keep hitting your thumb with a hammer, it's going to stay inflamed. Stop injuring your gut, okay? Stop eating sugars of food. Stop drinking alcohol. Stop eating meat and antibiotics in it. Stop taking antibiotics unless you know you need them. Stop the non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. Consider doing something so you're not drinking chlorine every day. Chlorine is volatile. You know that. It evaporates. You know that when you go in the swimming pool. You know, you can smell it coming off the water. If you just let water sit out overnight, about 90+% of the chlorine evaporates next morning anyway. But there's filtration units. There's things you can do, boiling it, etc. But think about not drinking chlorine. And again, if you're someone with inflammatory joint disease, etc., this is serious business for you. You want to take away every possible cause of upset down your gut there. You want to rinse those detergents off as good as you can, or just not use them. I'm sure there's some safer biological agents, and running water works pretty good actually. Or using run it in the dishwasher every couple of days instead of constantly using this stuff. And how about brushing your teeth with baking soda or something that doesn't cause all this antibacterial stuff to go down your throat. If you got a leaky gut and you're symptomatic, yank out the things that are leaking through it. Stop the dairy protein, the most allergenic of all the proteins people eat. Wheat protein, anything you think might be causing a problem, and yank it out. There's a whole elimination diet thing you can go on to, but if you're trying to get hold of your inflammation somewhere, you yank out the foods that might be causing a problem. Eat a whole food plant-based diet, okay? For all the reasons I talked about. And then you're going to repair, help. Now the gut's repairing itself anyway, but there are a couple of nutrients you get at the health food store that help those tight junctions firm up again and make the gut less leaky. One of them is called quercetin, and it's made from fruits. And take one twice a day. And this is for 6 weeks, 12 at the most, okay? This is not for the rest of your life. You have to tweak it now. You want to repair this once. And so get a bottle of these things and take one twice a day for 6 weeks. And if you'd like to do it, double that. You grow a new gut lining every 6 weeks, so this is 2 full cycles of gut lining coming in. And glutamine, it helps the colon tissues repair themselves as well. So 500 milligrams of quercetin and glutamine with breakfast, and 500 again in dinner for a couple of months would be an appropriate thing to do. Okay, and again, that's all on a webinar. Then there's the issue of reestablishing a carpet of healthy bacteria down in the gut. So here's where the issue of probiotics comes in. Probiotics, what does the word mean? Pro means for, bios is life, so probiotics, they are for life, as opposed to an antibiotic, which is against life. Okay, and these are the good guys, the beneficial bacteria and yeast, plus nutrients to help them grow down in the gut there. So where do they fit into all of this? Okay, they are the frosting on the cake, to use an inappropriate analogy. It's the food, first of all, and stop injuring it, second of all, and these repair supplements, and yes, finally the probiotics. Okay, now, when we first started, I showed you the names of some organisms that you like to see on the probiotic label. Here's why they're there. Lactobacillus plantarum has been shown to be what the metabolites it puts out are very stabilizing and anti-inflammatory. And there's a good literature that Lactobacillus is one of the real good guys, especially if you've got inflammation going on in your gut. Lactobacillus rhamnosus detoxifies molecules that are produced that promote cancer down in your gut. And if you're father, 2 uncles and brother all died of colon cancer at age 40, and you clearly got that propensity. You want to be on a whole food plant-based diet because it's the meat that largely spawns that, but you want to be taking, you want to make sure you got a good population of lactobacillus rhamnosus down there. And again, there's a good study about how it fixes intestinal problems down there. Lactobacillus casei is really good for restoring the mucosal architecture. And there's a number of studies showing that. Lactobacillus acidophilus does very good things. People who take it get less colds. Women who are prone to urinary tract infections benefit if they take this on a regular basis, and folks with irritable bowel syndrome. I don't believe that this is a disease. I believe that bowel is irritable, but it's irritable because of what the owner of that bowel has been putting through it. That's your bowel. The colon is a very eloquent organ. It speaks very clearly. And if you've got gas and cramps and bloating every time you eat food X, that's your colon saying, don't put that down here. And I wish I had a nickel for every patient with irritable bowel who went on a healthy, whole food, plant-based diet. Hey, doc, wow, man, my irritable bowel's going away. I'm passing these easy, soft bowel movements, yay. Published in the medical journal, duh. Bifidobacteria is another one that's a good guy. Saccharomyces boulardii that I mentioned. So that's why when I go in the health food store and I'm thinking about buying a probiotic, that's why I want to see Lactobacillus rhamnosus and Bifidus and Acidophilus and Casei and Plantarum and Salivarius and Longum on there. These are good guys that you want there. Okay, and this is you'll be able to play this recording back. You'll see these labeled again. Again, it's on my webinar at drklaper.com. Okay. So you want a variety. You don't want just Acidophilus. You don't want a single strain probiotic. You want the whole family. Okay.